Welcome back to the Culture of Currency, where today we're tackling another world region. In fact, if you are starting as a collector in silver, this might be the region of the world you start with. And we'll get into that in a second. But this is the Caribbean. The Caribbean is full of fascinating culture and history and heritage, and their silver reflects that. So if I were to start today and I wanted to collect a series, the one I would start with is this one. This is the EC8, which is 8 nations in the Eastern Caribbean. We like to think of them as the Lesser Antilles. And basically, these 8 nations are minting a series where every single year the artwork changes. This is one of those. In fact, the newer series, instead of having the Queen here as she passed, it says ECCB here in a script lettering, which stands for the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, which when I zoom in here, you'll see on the outside of the coin. Anyway, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. So all of these, what I love about them is they're all minted by Scottsdale Mint, and that means that the quality will be fairly similar along the whole series. And so it kind of makes it very simple to understand what you're going to expect, which is great quality and all that kind of stuff, as we know Scottsdale does. They mint for many nations, but this is the first one we'll look at today from the EC8 series, though we have many, many more. And this is Antigua and Barbuda. This is the Rum Runner. They have many cool coins that they put out here at Antigua and Barbuda, but this is the first of our EC8. Really cool. Let's go here next. Once again, we see the EC8 obverse. This is going to be the island of Montserrat. Here we have a volcano in the background and the Montserrat Oriole, only found on this island here in the foreground. Very cool story about this one. This volcano exploded and caused a whole host of issues, including the mass exodus of its people. And in one of the beautiful moments of Commonwealth, which is, why the Queen was on this coin, is that because this was a protectorate of the Commonwealth, that all of the people who wanted to go to England got citizenship and were taken in as equals, which was really cool to see. But this is such a cool video because the Beatles, for example, had a recording studio there. There's a whole host of things that makes it really cool. But yes, I think my favorite is this volcano showing what the Commonwealth stands for, which is to protect all of the people under the banner. Here's another one from Montserrat, different year. This is the blue-girdled angelfish, and I love how beautiful this thing is. I do have an issue. There's angelfish that are around Montserrat that you would be able to find, such as the French angelfish, but they chose one out of the Indo-Pacific, which I don't understand because you had beautiful specimens there in your water, and yet you chose something completely far away, and I do have a little qualm about that, but that's not a big deal. It's still a beautiful coin. In fact, it's one of the prettiest fish I have seen on a coin, period. Gorgeous. All right, let's go to another EC8. This is St. Kitts and Nevis. You see the beautiful pelican over here flying over the bay, the clouds in the background. Gorgeous there. I can't turn down a good pelican coin. And this is a nice one from 2018 from St. Kitts. I have another one right here, EC8. And this is the coat of arms here for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Gorgeous there, simple, polished, well-defined. Gotta love that. So as you can see, the EC8 has tons of variety. And it's something that you could easily tackle in a year, just getting started into silver. The premiums are usually not very high on these, by the way, and they only mint 25,000 of each coin. Here is Grenada. This is the diver. There's actually 2 divers there. You see the reef here and the shipwreck there. One of the cool things about Grenada, They have a diving paradise here where basically they have all these cool underwater features. You can go over there, and a lot of tourism is done in the diving industry there in Grenada. And they also produce some of the most nutmeg out of the entire world. I think it's like 80% of global consumption is done right there in Grenada. It's one of their cash crops. But this is a beautiful coin. I love the way the light plays off of the water. Really cool. Another one from Grenada, different year. This has a different approach. This is an octopus, the Caribbean reef octopus. They chose the appropriate species, which I always love because sometimes they just don't. We've seen that in silver coinage before where they just slap something on there thinking, oh, no one will know, or maybe it's the designer that just doesn't know themselves, that there are specific species localized to areas and that there's some that are not. But this is a beautiful coin. Next, let's go to this one, another EC8. This is Dominica, or as many of the locals call it, Dominica. I don't know which is correct, but I just know they both are referred to it. This one looks like a postcard. So this is the Cicero parrot. You see it here. It is the national bird of Dominica, and it is a beautiful, like purplish gray, and it's only found there. But this one reminds me of those vintage postcards. Absolutely love it. Gorgeous 2019. There's the island right there in the background. Next, we'll go here. This was a month where I lost a bet, so my wife got to pick my silver. And wouldn't you know it, she came home with a flamingo. And here is the St. Lucia pair of flamingos right there, doing flamingo things. Gorgeous. It is actually a really cool bird. They're kind of stinky, but they are beautiful, so I'm okay with it. St. Lucia. Next, let's go to, I think we've covered all those. Anguilla. Anguilla, I have 3 coins from. This is my favorite of the 3. This is the eel, which is what anguilla means in Spanish. Now, this species, genus and species, is Anguilla anguilla, which is a European eel, which I originally had very, very strong feelings about because, once again, it's not the one localized to Anguilla. There are plenty of beautiful eels like the chain moray they could have chosen, but this is the European eel. But I gave it a little grace because the cartographers who were making the maps back then saw the island, mapped it out, and said it looked like an eel, which is why they call it Anguilla to begin with. And their justification is that the eel is actually a big part of the cuisine back in the early European days. It probably still is, even though it's probably not quite as big as it used to be. But that being said, this island would have been representative of the eel they knew, so therefore I give a little grace to it being a European eel on a Caribbean coin. Next, Anguilla, same obverse by the way, we have the lobster, which is gorgeous. I love it. Love the textures, love the colors. But the problem being, this is a North Atlantic lobster, which are not found in Anguilla. They have the slipper lobster and the spiny lobster down there. It's just not this one. It is pretty, though. I will give it that. But that is one of the issues I have. You can obviously tell by the giant claws and the way that the antennae go forward. So with the spiny lobster, they actually point back, and the slipper as well. And they both have really, really small claws on those species versus these giant honking ones that we get in the North Atlantic lobster. And last from Anguilla, we have their coat of arms, which has the 3 dolphins doing all kinds of flips up in the air. Really cool coat of arms there. And that's basically the EC8. Now, there's a handful of nations outside of the EC8 you might be interested in. This is one of the coolest ones. This is the Cayman Islands, and check that out. Do you see that background? How cool is that? Now, they have come out with a couple more. This is the one they used to do as their flagship, which is the Marlin, the blue Marlin, which is gorgeous. Gosh, I love it. But they have come out with some more. I want to say there was a turtle and a manta ray or a stingray. I can't remember which one. But they've come out with a couple more species that I need to look into because I thought they were gorgeous and they were from the Scottsdale Mint. And I just haven't got around to looking at them again. But it's on my radar to pick up some more of those. Next, we go to the bittersweet story of the British Virgin Islands. And I say bittersweet because these are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, but they're minted by the Pobjoy Mint. You can see the little P right there. This is the reverse cameo Pegasus, and they all came reverse cameo. It's not that I got one special, very low mintage, but the Pobjoy Mint went out of business. They were defunct here the last year, and so we will probably either not see these anymore or another mint will have to pick up basically the design and all that kind of stuff on the behalf of the nation or of the protectorate, and we just don't know what that's going to look like. So as of right now, it's a hopeful pause on coins from the British Virgin Islands. Here's another one from the BVI, the British Virgin Islands. This is in a set of 3, and I just happened to get one of them here, and that's the Santa Maria, which we know, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, all 3 amazing ships coming across the sea. I want to say these are mintage of like 15,000, something like that. Once again, the little P here for the Pobjoy Mint, which, rest in peace, my friend. You did amazing things in your time. All right, next we will go to this one. This is actually 925 or sterling silver. This was given by a viewer. You see the Bahama Islands right here. So back in the day, this is how a lot of your silver coinage came. It was, a Franklin Mint product or something like that, but they would have been 925 silver rather than the bullion variety we get today, which meant for a lot of times they're a little bit bigger, but they also are in my mind, a bit prettier over time because of the way these tone and that type of thing. They don't tend to have as many issues as your standard bullion varieties can have. But look at there. Look how gorgeous that is. I absolutely love this. So a viewer gave me this and another coin, which we'll get to in a second. But this is from the Bahamas, 1970. How cool. And these will actually have a little bit lower premium than a lot of your standard bullion today because they're not 3/9 fine and that type of thing. But the artwork is outstanding. So if you can find stuff like this, I do recommend you pick it up because it tells a really cool story. Now to my favorite nation in the Caribbean, and that is Barbados. Really cool coat of arms here on Barbados. You see the pelican and dolphin. You will see this on the obverse of most of their coins. Here we have the pelican. Once again, a bird I can't say no to. It's just gorgeous. This is the 2021 variety, as you can see. Hard to beat that. We have another from Barbados right there, 1 ounce. And this is the Caribbean octopus. I believe these are all anywhere from 10 to 25,000 minted. I can't remember off the top of my head. Another from Barbados. Oh, what do you know? It's another pelican. Oops. My bad. Just gorgeous. This is a 2023 variety. Love that seabird. Here is one given to me by a viewer in 1973. We noticed that the coat of arms didn't change. Beautiful big font. In fact, you can see the little FM right there. That's the Franklin Mint's stamp. And we have, looky there, Poseidon. So if you know the flag of Barbados, we see that it has the trident. In fact, on the flag of Barbados, the trident is broken, signifying its breakaway from England. And this answers a age-old question about Poseidon or Neptune is apparently you can have 2 fish legs rather than the 1 mermaid tail. I wonder if that helps with turning or if that's a speed move. I don't really know. But it's very interesting just to see his legs crossed in that way. But he has fin feet with the mahi-mahi, the dorado, the dolphin, whichever you want to call it. Really cool there. All right, moving on. This one is a 2019. This is their calling card, by the way. What they're known for is the trident. We just talked about that, the broken trident. So every year they come out with a new trident. 25,000 minted on this. However, if you happen to get one that has a pineapple right here to the side, that's a privy mark that drops it down to either 5 or 10,000. I don't have one with a pineapple privy. I wish I did. If you have one and you're not in love with it, send it my way. I'd love to have it. But this is a gorgeous series, and every year the background changes slightly on it. Really cool series to pick up. Barbados again, second to last coin. We have the green monkey. These were brought over kind of by accident on slave ships as they came from Africa and they came to Barbados, and then those monkeys took over the island and they're still there. So it's the only place in the Caribbean where they exist, but they're called green monkeys, and they are really pretty cool little creatures. And our last is the Barbados. Oh, let's focus. There we go. The Barbados seahorse. Another part of their Caribbean Silver series where they're highlighting the flora and fauna of their area, which is a smart thing to do. So that is what we have. As you notice, the Caribbean is absolutely a place where you should be focusing. Silver, if you are a collector, you can get some amazing deals because it's not, the might of Australia's Perth Mint or anything like that. These are coins that are out there consistently that are just gorgeous, beautiful. They tell an amazing story. I got almost all of these at APMEX. There's probably a couple that I picked up at the Scottsdale Mint website, but the majority of them were from APMEX. And they do a fantastic job. In fact, there are at Scottsdale Mint, I know there are handful of these EC8 coins in what they call an Alpha Strike version, where they have cool packaging, and it basically is saying that these were the first of, however many they minted out the door. So it's just a way to, I guess, charge more money or whatever, but it does look pretty cool. But that is what we have. Hopefully you enjoyed this story of Caribbean silver, and hopefully you're considering picking up some yourself. Once again, start with that EC8 series. It's a really easy series to get into and to complete. But that is what we have for you today. Thank you as always, and remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.